scheme out of the Titans, and I found a very good one out of these single back doubles wide off. This formation, I think I might have touched on this out of the Niners or out of a different playbook, but ultimately this formation here has a really great run scheme and also has some really good pass plays. I'll show you guys my 4-play setup. This is how I run this offense. There's only one pass play because you really only need one pass play, and that's going to be the PA corner post. This pass play here, like I said, it's a one-play touchdown every single defense in the game. As far as the run plays go, they've got a terrific run play scheme. This is one of the better doing something specifically for one of my Patreons. If you guys don't know, on my Patreon, you can sign up for a tier. You basically choose what topic of a video I do, and right now that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing the Titans because my Patreon member needed a scheme out of the Titans, and I found a very good one out of these single back doubles wide off. This formation, I think I might have touched on this out of the Niners or out of a different playbook, but ultimately this formation here has a really great run scheme and also has some really good pass plays. I'll show you guys my 4-play setup. This is how I run this offense. There's only one pass play because you really only need one pass play, and that's going to be the PA corner post. This pass play here, like I said, it's a one-play touchdown every single defense in the game. As far as the run plays go, they've got a terrific run play scheme. This is one of the better combinations of run plays that I've found in the game. It's very similar to one that I used out of the Niners earlier in the year, and I think it's also very similar to one that I used out of the Saints, but the Saints didn't have the 0-1 trap. I love the 0-1 trap. That's going to be one of the better run plays in the game out of this formation. The stretch is also a very good run play. This is obviously an outside run. I'm going to do some things to get that unique look. And the last one's going to be the jet sweep. Now, the jet sweep is going to be a very specific purpose. But as we go into the play here, we're going to go ahead, we're just going to pick the 0-1 trap. So let's pick that. On the defensive side, I just picked the Colts, so they typically try to pick teams that have divisional rivals. But we're just going to go random nickels. So let's go and let's pick that because we are in a 3 wide receiver set. Now, the setup for this is really simple. You have really only 2 run plays that are going to be like the main focus point of your offense. And that's going to be the stretch and the trap. Now, the trap's going to be your inside run, the stretch is going to be your outside run. It's really that simple. You're going to want to make one adjustment whenever you do these plays, and it's going to help with the pass plays and the run plays. All you're really going to do is motion in this receiver every single time. Like I said, that's more critical when it comes to the pass play than the run play. But you can see even on a play like this, it brings the cornerback in. So if I'm in a stretch, because this here looks like a cover 3, get a box safety, I don't really want to run into that with an 0-1 trap. All I have to do is flip the play. I find that flipping the play against this particular, when it comes to this run play, is going to be the look pretty much 9 times out of 10. And all I really have to do is motion this guy, and you see the cornerback comes in. It's going to make it a lot easier to get outside. When that defensive tackles, the defensive end's out pretty far, that might be the only issue, but 77 should be able to get out there, should be able to break me to this edge. As you can see right there, it gets right in front of that, and boom, we have nothing but space out here to the outside. So I get about 15 yards on the first carry without really breaking a sweat. So as far as the stretch run goes, I mean, this is pretty simple. I can run it strong side. I can run it to the tight end side just as long as there's not a box defender outside of it like there is here. You can see there's a safety outside, so that makes no sense. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're definitely going to be running it to the receiver side. I find you're going to get better blocking. You're just going to get better everything. And then, flip the play with the right stick to the left. Motion in that receiver. Now you can see it gives me more room to get to the outside faster, and boom, you can see here we're getting, I mean, that block just totally failed, but you can see the blocking was setting up perfectly. I could have had a really good run there. And that's pretty much the look. The stretch is going to be the easiest to run. Like I said, I'm going to flip it 9 times out of 10. There's not going to be a lot of times where I run to the tight end side. Make that motion, brings that cornerback in, makes it that much easier to get outside of it, and boom, we're going to have another big run here. Like I said, this is going to be very easy. You can see there, the defensive end did get outside. That's the only thing that can really cause problems, is that defensive end gets outside and kind of forces you, inside of the defensive end. If it's spread wide enough, that's the only thing that really stopped this stretch run. Now, seeing as the halfback stretch is such a good play, your opponent's probably going to try to start spreading their defense to try to stop this outside run. We already saw how this defensive end can really get in the way of this run play and kind of force your side, which is going to be a win for the defense. So if they start spreading their defensive alignment, the best counter for that's going to be the 0-1 trap. This is a really good inside run play. It's really good against spread defenses like this. This is going to be one play, though, you don't necessarily want to make this motion, because you can see it brings that cornerback in closer to the play. If he just goes straight for the running back, he can make a tackle here. So this is going to be a play where you can do that if you want to keep it uniform, But in reality, it's best just to hurry up and run the ball because your opponent won't have any time to set up the defense. And you can see how you can have some success. And that first one wasn't too great. We'll go and do that again. But anytime you have a big gap over the middle, especially, this should have a lot of success. This is also something where I am running into Darius Leonard, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But you can see right there, we get a huge hole. We're getting an easy 15 yards once again. So at any point in time you have a spread defensive look like this, it's really up to you whether you want to try to get outside of it or just basically hit the 0-1 trap. And the 0-1 trap is a very good run play. You can see there's nothing up the middle. We're getting close to 15 yards just about every time we run it. So those are the main two run plays, but I do have some good options when it comes to the jet sweep because the jet sweep has some fakes in here. The zone fake jet would probably be the best to play off of the actual jet sweep. Obviously, you can run it around the edge with the receiver, or you can give it, up the middle with the running back. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my offense. But let's go and let's choose the jet sweep. The jet sweep is going to be against very specific looks. Typically, jet sweeps are best against man coverages. So anytime you see a man coverage like man cover 2, which is what I'm going to pick here, this is going to be best. The reason this works so well against man coverages is because, number one, the cornerback doesn't follow. It's a designed run play, and for whatever reason, the cornerback doesn't follow like he does in a pass play. It's pretty much a glitch, to be honest with you. So at any point in time you see your opponents in a lot of man coverages, you can easily switch over to this run play. You'll get an advantage right away. And you can see even this outside cornerback here was following back the entire way before the play, before he even noticed the play was up his back. As you can see right here in the replay system, number one, like I said, the cornerback doesn't follow. He's completely out of position. In any pass play, when you make this motion, the cornerback will follow because that's his man. But for here, for whatever reason, he doesn't. So the second that happens, you immediately have an advantage. You immediately have a one-man advantage. Then you can see when it comes to man coverage on defense, this guy here is following this guy back to a point, a pretty absurd point. I mean, he follows it 15 yards downfield, giving me, all this space outside. And this is pretty much a glitch, to be honest with you. Just make sure you have your fastest receiver here. That's pretty much the only thing I could say. And then you can see you're going to have some pretty big runs. As you can see here once again, the cornerback just doesn't react. And we're just getting some very explosive run plays. But like I said, it only really works that way against man coverage. So make sure you only use it against man. And then last but not least, like I said, we do have a good counter with that, which is the zone fake jet. Let's go ahead and pick that. On the defensive side, we're just going to continue with random. Now, when it comes to the zone fake J, it's really just going to be if your user starts shifting or starts chasing away. If he sees the motion and he sprints out to cut off that motion, that's going to be your perfect opportunity to basically just hit him with this inside run. One of the better things about it is
the sports coverage of the NFL brings us to South Florida and Unranked Stadium here in Miami. Excitement brewing here in South Florida. Just a moment ago, the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
But once again, it's going to be best against spread defenses. It's going to be best against the opposite direction. And see if my opponent tries to cut that off, this is going to be something where you want to basically just take it to the left as much as possible and get as much space as possible. Now, there are a couple of good regular pass plays, a very good cover 2 play out of the 4 verticals. So let's go and pick that. On defense, we'll continue with the cover 2. This is pretty much only a cover 2 play. It doesn't need any adjustments, but it's a cover 2 play. You have to run it from a hash mark to the open side of the field. Essentially, that B route there, when it gets past the cornerback, and typically you have a shot at a one-play touchdown, as you can see right there. I mean, that's not necessarily what I expected. The reason this play works is, number one, you just have a lot of space to the sideline. The safety cannot cover all the space. And this particular route gets around the cornerback. Gets around the press, gets around the man. That's why this play works. Once you cover the cornerbacks, only go so far to stop. Here, if there's nothing on the end, you just see it's like a bullet pass outside. Actually, a very good pass to actually bullet pass that up, which still worked out. As you see the safety really get over, but ultimately I typically try to pass into the boundary. I don't necessarily expect it to touchdown. I just kind of expect a big play. And you can see right here, once again, the tight end is the reason this play works. The safety reacts to the tight end inside, and you can see this cover 2
Washington Husky. Here's Miles Gaskin.
But today we're talking about just one pass that every single defense
just inside the
the
20.
corner post.
It's a secure pickup, and it gets him to second
the
and 4.
corner post, and let's start off with cover 2. We're going to go ahead and switch out to normal cover 2. So let's go with Tampa 2. Now, when it comes to cover 2, you're going to want to run this from a hash mark to the open side of the field. That's pretty typical. I said in the first video, you're going to want to make this motion every single time in the run plays because it really helps out with pass plays. So this cover 2, I'm going to make that motion. 9 times out of 10, most covers, I'm going to put the Y route kind of slant. Although that can change. On this particular against cover 2, I'm going to put the A route here on the pass block, and I'll put the B route here on the out route and the small route about 10 yards. This is going to be the look. So it's going to pull these safeties apart to the point where I can essentially just beat this safety on the left right up the middle here. Even though I don't really have the fastest receivers, which is going to be something that I might have to deal with throughout this video, but you can see it's an even for a touchdown. So if you watch the replay, this is really the guy that's getting abused here. And it's all about the 10-yard out. For whatever reason, when it comes to 10-yard outs, it really, if there's nothing else for him in this area, it'll essentially stretch this guy out. I think the slant might also be part of it. But when you look how far Chucky's coverage safety, that's about 20 to 30 yards of separation. And there's also a difference because this guy's going to drop it back as fast as this guy's spinning behind. So you can see if you have a faster receiver, AJ Brown's good at running on speed. This is going to be a very easy pick-up side. So we're going to do that again. So we should have plenty of blocking with the tight end. Pass block, I can double team if I want to. But I don't really have to do too much. Pull it, pass it away from the safety, that's pretty much it. And you can see the safeties just split to a point where neither one can make a play. So that was super blitzy against cover 2. As long as super blitzy against cover 3. So let's go and put that. So we're going to mostly set this play up the exact same way we did the cover 2 play. We're going to motion this guy in. Only this time we're going to put the wire out on the street because we need that cornerback to get through back. On the other side, though, we're going to do the exact same thing with the B route. We're going to put him on a 10-yard out route, essentially a 5-yard out route, then smart route at 10 yards. And then we're going to put the A route. We have our choice. We could either put the A route on the pass block, which is kind of what we did on the first play. So I guess we'll keep with that because this will ultimately work with the running back. The check and release will have the same success. And you can see, once again, there's huge separation, even though I don't really have a super fast receiver based off this route concept. So last time we really stretched apart the two safeties. This time we stretched apart the cornerback and the safety. You can see, for whatever reason, this route concept really makes that cornerback, number one, very indecisive, and number two, he comes down on that route because he's not expecting to have to cover this deep crosser coming across the middle here. And at this point, he's already gone. I could bullet pass lead at any point in time, just pass lead away from the safety, who's also reacting to the streak, which is one of the reasons the streak is so important. So you can see it's essentially the exact same setup and getting essentially the exact same result, where these deep zone covers are spread to about 30 yards apart. So we're going to do that again. Like I said, exact same setup. The only difference is I'm putting the wire out in the street this time. That's pretty much it. It's the exact same setup otherwise. Against cover 2, put them on slant. Against cover 3, put them on a street. It's really that easy. And you're going to see how we're going to get the exact same type of separation.
The last run got 6, now second and 4.
Separation from that cornerback, and the safety's in no position to make a play. And I don't even really have fast receivers right now. So we're going to finish calculation. I'm probably going to go to cover 4, which is the cover 4 drop will be cover 4 national site. Now this setup is very different. The receiver that I'm showing you, but the motion is the same. The motion is guys cross. This time though, we're going to the wire. We're going to hit the X route on the street. We're going to block our tight end. We're going to put the B route here on H route. That's all we have to do. But like I said, we're going to have to different receiver. I'm showing some videos.
Good shit. We'll get it back. We'll get it back.
He's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
There. You can see
He's just got to be thinking a couple of things to come. Very first pass in the afternoon.
Don't watch the replay.
You go from here,
Like I said, it's a deep cross route. And for some reason,
do you allow that to seep into you
so
and
luckily,
stay
I
with you
really
the rest of the game, or do you find a way out of it? We're going to find out.
As you can see, the cornerback doesn't drop. The cornerback stays down.
Throw here is running back. Down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
If you guys can't tell, when I motion you guys together, these routes, when they're separated, they look pretty similar. When they're right next to each other, you can tell they're different. The X route will not get this play done. You have to throw this to the Y route against cover 4. So just keep that in mind. When you can read the defense, you're running a lot of cover 4. You have to basically set this up for this particular play. But this play has two different routes that are against the line. Here we go. Basically get that ball out before Julio starts to fade. You can see that's a very easy one for touchdown runs back there. So we'll continue to cover 4, only this time we'll go cover 4 concepts. The quarters are essentially the same thing. Cover 4 match. When it comes to cover 4, you don't really have to make any adjustments with the exception of the B route. Put them on a 10-yard out route one more time. And the Y route and the X route are both pretty much going to have success. There are some setups that you can do. Because couple of times over the defense, there are some setups that you but that's pretty much the fair for me. Other than that, the most of the guys will use that same setup as your other cover 4 with the exception of the ground. Basically, cover 4s, 4 deep safes to cover any route area over 10 yards. So you have to create a 10-yard route for this outside cornerback to run. And you can see right here, really right past that. Although he did get So it's really up to you. The play by itself will have success.
Now after the touchdown run, to kick it away is Sanders.
These two routes, the X route and the Y route.
And no return on this one as the full catch is single for and take it.
Very well. So we went through all the zone coverages, but we haven't really hit on so let's go to man cover 2. Man cover 2 is going to be the exact same setup. The only difference is I'll leave the tight end doing what he's doing because that's the way the man does it. But ultimately, you can do
Set for this next drive by the
Yeah, I'm all ready, fellas.
And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
Put the wire out here on the street.
Just to tell us before every game, the team making the clearest mistakes will win.
We really need to run
But
that
their
whole
hope is
tight
that
end
that last mistake
something
is
in
their
the
only one
direction
of
of
the
the
game.
route.
Coaches had
But
something
I
to
don't
talk about
honestly
during
think that's
Minimizing
not really
errors
important at all.
and
And we'll
maximizing
see how that safety
opportunities.
will still fade because it's really just
So good
reacting
gain
to
on
the
first,
area,
has him set
which
up
is
with
the,
second and just a couple of inches now from the 29.
So you see, very easy to put down with any point
Give
to
us
it.
to
You can't hold that block, fool. Good shit.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
I could only say, leave that tight. I want that extra, block like that, even though I want that extra route.
Williams, that was terrible, bruh.
He's being out right there.
That's exactly what
Still
happened.
can beat that.
As a result,
A better tight end would
Third and short yardage, Prescott.
that tight end's going to be good.
It's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA
This
Sports.
X out here is going to have a lot of success over there. I definitely was running into the issue with a little bit more pressure because I didn't block that tight end. So it's really up to you. So to me, it's definitely better to block that tight end, even slide your protection in that direction because I'm going to want to roll out in that direction considering the tight end not really blocking anybody anyway. But you can see it's, this is just a very easy play.
Prescott looks to throw on first.
The extra blocking is not good. Except he's only 15.
Ooh, good shit.
It's intercepted. Picked off by Jason McCoy. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way
That might have been my fault.
so that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme?
Come on now, fellas.
Defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right
If you just
now.
want to keep it consistent, though, you can keep it the out route. And you can see it once again. We got that man beater here with Julio just barely getting past.
After the turnover, it's Tua.
Much more success.
Open
Because
man.
inside
the 20 before he's brought down.
These guys are really so that's something to pay attention to. So basically, this next play was like, it's like a slam, drag, whatever. Doesn't matter if you have things going on the street. So this is going to be the look as the blocking doesn't look like it's going to pull up once again. But you can see Julio gets huge separation that time. And it could have been because of the two receivers bumping each other's
Fellas. What is y'all doing?
So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, we never really talk about adjustments. We usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz?
Might be a wrap, fellas.
Zone coverage right now. They don't know where to go because they're hitting in every direction.
You can see right here he does. And I could easily pull it and pass it to the other receiver. So against man coverage, it's especially difficult because the receivers are so close together. So that's the big. If you guys want to see more from this offense, I got a quick breakdown. Hit the like button on the comment.
That might have did it.
Watching that much it out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Let's go down. That down there.
Good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play calls now, not even necessarily to my best
I think
player,
it works best
but to someone I can trust
the
with the
defensive
ball,
line
try and
out.
get things settled
But
down.
ultimately, you really have a choice. You can blitz one of these outside guys, or you can blitz both. You just have to start with this guy down here in the box. You're going to want to do this in pretty much every single play. Is bring this guy down to the box. Now, ultimately, you also want to make sure you get past. That will help in a lot of different ways. But this is just a way to send a lot of pressure. I don't know what we're going to be seeing here.
Finding some room in midfield.
As you can see,
Good shit.
The 41-yard line.
this guy here run all the way
First to
down.
their timeouts.
Back
2 remaining as we step aside
There's a
here
couple of
in the
adjustments to
second
get into
quarter.
this pressure to get to be kicked up a notch. Let's said, I'll just basically stop here, and you see right around the running back.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10.
Take the center of the guard, which is probably the most important part of the show. They said, that wasn't
Who's about to block for you?
3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Running back anyway.
I do know from
right here,
experience
they
when you
come
slow
off the
down
edge on
someone's
both
running
sides.
game,
Although
you're now
this
doing
guy
the
here
dictating
gets
on
in
defense.
first.
And guess
You
what?
can see the
Now
guy on the
they're
other
ready to
side,
tee
good
off
guy,
on the quarterback because they can throw it all the time. You just still have to be alert for draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get it.
And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 32. Dolphins going to take their second time out. So as they take it
you
over,
can see he doesn't really start off at the line. He's back about a yard or so. He doesn't have as good of an angle. But this guy here has a much better angle. He's much more linear. I don't know if I can get them both in the same frame. But you can see he's down at the line of scrimmage. He takes a much better angle because of that. He's just right against the tackle. So that's really, I'm glad that mistake happened.
46 yards rushing now on 8 carries
So
for
we're going to do that. We don't have to put
Exactly what they needed
right
right there. Because they needed to use the ground game and take some pressure off. Support the pass coverage over there.
Well, we'll go with a hard flat. Like I said,
Dak having serious problems.
red zone for the Cowboys. They have a first and 10 at the 18.
And we're just going to basically pull this guy whenever we get the ball.
Handoff left,
There we go. With that center, it looks like the defense.
Fall forward.
But once again, I sacrificed that flat. You recognize that. So you gotta be, you gotta be aware of that.
Second and just
There,
about a
I
few inches here.
trying to watch for the blades to get on.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
Also, he's not supposed to be on.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Alright, fellas. Don't give up.
And the Cowboys get a bit
That's
closer.
something I think a lot of people like to do. And stop, as you can see.
So line connects on the extra point. And
Even
it
I
will
was
be cut down to 14.
which wasn't even really planned. So, like I said, I'm just going to bring that guy down. You're going to want to try to bring the guard down. You don't have to look like it's just like it's
Now
obvious.
the touchdown in zone
But that's really the
line.
play.
Kick it away.
It's either one. And your opponent, if they shift their side,
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will
but like I
start
said,
here
you do this on
at the
both sides. So
25.
let's go on this time we're going to blitz low. So bring this exact same setup. Although I really want to make sure if I'm doing it this way, like I said, you got to put Baker
The
out there.
Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown,
Pull this side, you can
touchdown,
get the rush off the other side.
touchdown.
Right
Not
now,
sure it
it's
can be
picked
much
up.
better
We
than
did see that free
that.
rush
They've got to feel
again.
very good
So
about
you
the
get
group
pressure
that
on
they're
both
in at this
sides.
stage of
It's
the
so
game.
hard to
Good
guide.
tackle.
Following a pickup
Four
of
guys
7
getting blocked
past
by
the 30
five
to
guys.
the
This
32.
guy's coming in free right into the quarterback's ear to the ball. And you can see coverage is pretty good too. Everything's pretty much locked up out there. Like I said, full set, pretty much just slanting outside, guessing pass.
Coming
And
up
then
at
hovering
halftime
over
in a
this
little
gap,
less than 2
which
minutes,
looks
we'll
like
send
you
you
got a
to
guy right
Orlando,
over
where
there.
Jonathan
Exact
Coachman
on the
is
other
standing
side.
by.
So
He'll
you
have
can see we get
highlights and
sacks on
analysis
either side.
of this
Then we're
first
just gonna
half.
make this a really good scheme. It's one of the reasons
Play
that we like
action,
to run it.
now it's
You really
Tua.
have your choice. You can't ID anybody.
He's
You
letting
can't
this one
shift
go
it.
for 3.
Good shit. Good shit. Burnt him.
Now you can also go
As he takes it all the
like
way to
a
the 2.
outside. You can do that with Baker.
It's a big play there for Miami.
I think it's about time I took my eyes off of the secondary.
Yeah, let's put it hard back. We can make it outside. If we want to do that. So while this can be a very good
Absolutely,
pressure
and when he
package,
can stay
you
in the
can
pocket
also
like that, you're going to
try
get big plays like we just
set up
saw.
like this, where you're essentially, I'm obviously responsible for middle now by myself,
They'll try
but
to run
basically
for it on
enable
first
everything
and goal.
and just
You let him in there?
After just a short pickup. It's a gain
Go
of
on, get that
4 yards to the
motherfucker a
receiver.
touchdown, man.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his
Bullshit.
dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller
with
side.
this setup,
He's
it's
counting on the
really
big guys
set
up
up
front
where
to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
that same
Didn't get the
table
push
stuff
they
that a lot of
needed.
people like to run. Like I said, to me, the best way to do that would be 5-yard park flats, 30-yard front, just to get the direction. Sometimes 0, sometimes 25%. And then you basically set this up like this all against really
The Dolphins are able to extend
and you have
their
the ability
advantage.
to blitz
Sanders
out
now
of
to
either
have the
side, which
extra
is a
point.
nightmare for your opponent. And that formation is the 3-3-5-I. Now, the play that I seem to be seeing the most is just to run the
knocks it
cover
through.
sky.
It's
I
20
personally
and
don't use that. I started using this formation because I saw people running that against me having success. But I'm going to show you guys a lot of different plays in this formation that I think that really create a very strong scheme. If you guys want to see more defensive plays, as always, do feel to hit that button in the comment section. But for now, let's go and get right into the video. I'm going to start off with probably my favorite play, blitz. I know a lot of people out there want to get some pressure, so I'm going to go with the cover 3 Sky Show 4. This is something that works in a lot of different formations, but the way that I'm going to use it, I'm going to get instant pressure, and I'm going to get a lot of sacks. Let's go and pick that.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. With a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive.
That I can use. This something. Let's go with the level sail, which obviously is one of the most popular formations and plays. We'll mix it up. We'll just go random.
Deep for Gallup. Prescott, who's throwing interception. Brandon Jones picking it up. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly have their lead.
So all I'm going to do here is try to get some pressure. Shift on it, that's something to the right side. Then I'm going to slant them to the right as well. And then I'm just going to basically, this guy here, he's not high bar, I'm going to cheat him in a little bit. But I basically want to take one of these players. Typically, I take the one closest to this side, but I'm going to leave that over there. And I'm just going to basically put
that's my man, too. Oops. My bad, coach.
That's pretty much it. I'm going to try to basically shoot this gap.
My bad.
Basically hold as much line to this side as possible. Obviously, it's like a screen play. And the pressure came off the edge and forced the division in the very first play. So let's go to replay to see what happened.
Come on, cuz. You don't want to react to the ball.
I got stuck in with the plan at this stage. Like I said, the whole point is to get this cornerback a free run. Now, I also want to try my fastest guy there. For whatever reason, it typically is, but it's not right now. Like online when I play mud, I typically have Jalen Ramsey who's my best cornerback running that. But for whatever reason, it's not. So I'll probably switch that out for speed. Obviously, it's a little slow, little fast, but you can see at the end of the day, it's a 4-man, 5 protection blitz if I get disengaged and we have the guy free. So we're going to do that again. Sometimes you want to the right, slide them to the right as far as the attack lanes.
Ooh, y'all terrible, fellas. Y'all terrible for that. Ooh, good thing it ain't the league game, baby.
So you can see there's a lot of opportunities for pressure as we go against the return. This guy over here to get the pressure, but obviously I didn't pull the line that time. So you can see here this guy on the other side comes in free, and he's getting to the rush. Now once again, I have to engage and get off a little bit quicker, but you can see how easy it is to get pressure on both sides of the field when it comes to this blitz. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to continue to go with Jerome Baker because I think he's probably better of the two. I just want to sneak this guy in a little bit. I don't want to bring him over too much to the point where he's going to get picked up, but this is pretty much the look. So this is like a start over here. I never tried starting over here. Let's do that one. Let's see what happens if I start all the way over here. If I could bring all these guys over and see what that guy on the edge. So maybe I wasn't going over far.
He's going to go up top.
I run this
That shit have been picked.
I would typically start at the center, but it looks like it looks even better if I stay over there. I didn't have to engage. See that time? Look at his guard. He's basically...
Wake up, fellas. Wake up, goddammit.
This is ideal. This is perfect. Because if the guard... I never got such an engage. This is probably an even better way to run it. So we're going to do that again. We didn't really do that corner goal. The rest of the game up there. Okay, so this is a blitz I was
Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter.
The Rankers figured out. Now, doing all this is not going to be great to see if they're guard against lost in no man's land again with an easy sack. Doing all this is not going to be great for against the run. That's the only real downside to this setup.
Set for this
Because
next
basically,
drive by the
if you're
Cowboys
shot
offense, and they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster in the first half. So where do they go from here?
Yeah, buddy.
And the Dolphins are in great shape here.
Good shit, my dude.
Then I go away, you know, he's just nowhere. He's not fast enough to be able to turn around and engage with this cornerback who's just flying in a block. So this is, like I said, the cover 3 Sky Show 4 is probably my favorite defense. It's similar to the 3-5 cover 3 Sky that I was seeing a lot online because it's just a better pressure package version of it. So to me, it's like I said, it's an upgrade. So that would be my first play that I put in my adjustments. I typically would take this one out. And then I would put, where are we at here? I would put, can't find the play now. There we go. I'd put that in my adjustments. I like the cover 2, man. I like to keep that in there. My third play, cover 2 is okay. But I would say my next favorite play would be the LB Cross 3 Show 2. Now, this trick here is an old trick, but it's a good one. It's something I've put out multiple times over multiple years. It works really well in this scheme. All I really want to do is zone all linebackers. That's basically going to give me a ton of mid-tier coverage, which is going to work well with this scheme because of the pressure package that it comes with. So if I set it up, I try to make it look like I'm doing the exact same blitz. I push this guy over here. I bring this cornerback in and make it look like he's going to come in off the edge. I can bring this guy down, just the same way, just to make it look like all these things are setting up for the exact same blitz. And then at the end of the day, it's not going to be a blitz at all. So let's just go and let the computer run. The computer's probably not going to make the same mistakes that the user would. As you can see, he's just holding the ball, which is essentially a good sign that nothing's open, and then taking off with the quarterback, which is once again a good sign that nothing's really open. This is just a really good defense to run. You have a lot of different options too. You can do things like, because you have 3 guys in the middle here, you can put these guys in the hard flats. You can put any number of these positions. If you really think that he's going to throw to the flats more, as I messed that up, we can go double Mabel on both sides. We can just basically use this 3 rack on our own. But like I said, there's a lot of different things you can do. Just make sure you don't take the safety over. But there's a lot of different things you can do to create a really good heavy zone, drop everybody back type of defense, and basically just take away everything. So like I said, we're going to do this one more time. It really seems like Cam and the Patriots are running the exact same play over and over. And you can see, once again, nothing's open. The computer isn't even willing to throw the ball because everything's covered. So then last but not least for this video, I'm going to show you guys what's probably the best run defense, and that's the cover 4 drop. We'll go ahead and pick that. On the offensive side, we'll actually kick it up a notch. We'll just go with straight random I form. So I don't know where the ball is going to go. All I'm going to do, if I want to bring these guys down into a position to make run, I'm going to hit one triangle, then I'm going to hit base line, which is left stick to the left, and wide triangle, left stick to the left, which is show blitz. And I'm going to do it one more time to base the line again, so these cornerbacks don't get cooked. So basically, everybody's playing down, they're playing tight. I could do things with my linebackers or my defensive line if I want to. Sometimes I'll pinch him if it's like a short situation. He hiked the ball, wasn't ready, but you can see he still didn't get much, as it was just a screen play or a swing pass. But ultimately, this is something where you can set this up really quick. Like I said, I don't want those cornerbacks down too far, because if they're down too far, a simple streak can cook them. So they're in a good position, and these safeties here, they react really well to the run. If you'll see, hopefully they'll run a couple of run plays and we'll be able to see them in action. But ultimately, this is pretty much the base setup. And then, like I said, if you want to, you can really mess with these adjustments. You can, I would say, bring this guy down and make a lot of sense. Just bring him to the line, give yourself as much coverage as possible. This would probably be the look. This would be something that I would do to try to, if somebody's running the ball against this formation a lot, as we haven't gotten any run plays yet. And Cam Newton, once again, has to throw the ball away because it's a good defense. Cover 4 is going to give you a lot of zone options. So let's go and let's do that again. It said here, this is going to be the look right here. I have outside containment, which is these guys. They're going to hard flatter if I think it's going to be a run. You see both sides. I have a guy who can hold down that edge. And these safeties, if they ever run the ball, you will see these safeties play the run really well in cover 4, although we're not getting any run plays at all. Cam Newton's not throwing the ball at all. Oh, really? We're going to get a fumble 6. We're going to get a fumble 7 because Cam Newton gave up on the play. So, like I said, there's just, coverage-wise is great. We might have to force pick a run play because I'm trying to show run defense. I'm not getting any run plays. So we weren't getting a lot of run plays there, so I'm going to have to back out and pick one myself. Pick that cover drop one more time. We're going to go with, we'll go with the, just like the most common run play in the world, which is the inside zone. So we'll go and pick that. Like I said, setting this up We're going to go baseline, show blitz, baseline. You have a lot of smaller guys anyway. I'm going to bring these guys in. You got a lot of smaller guys on the field, so you really have to make sure that, you match personnel. I don't want to be able to by an encore anyway. So it's going to let's big side defensive line, spread those linebackers. This is pretty much going to be the look. Now, I'm not going to cheat, since I know it's an inside zone, I can easily slide protection or slide my defense over, which obviously will help to shut that down. But I will leave it as is just to kind of, be fair. I didn't want to do it this way because I didn't want to tip my hand that I know where the play is going. But this is pretty much going to be the run defense. I'm going to try to stay out of it. I'm going to try to stay in my lane. And then you can see the safeties typically shoot down and fill those gaps. So let's go to the replay because I was waiting for a long time just to show what these safeties do. In cover 4, typically the safeties will play the run first. And you'll see they just basically walk right down to the box. That's what makes this a really good run defense, is because they will play down. Cover 3 safeties won't do that. Cover 2 safeties won't do that. Cover 4 safeties will play down. They will fill. And you can see right here, this guy here just basically, he makes the play, stacks it. This guy here probably going to tackle him for a 2-yard gain, but he gets past him a little bit. It's still a really good run defense. If you're giving up 3 yards of carry, which is exactly what that gave up, you're going to have a very good run defense, and people are going to give up on it. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that again. I mean, you could always, since we know it's an inside zone, we could always just do a shift too, which is something that it's just a run-stopping defensive tip. I mean, that's probably something that anytime I come out in and I see a shotgun, I typically shift the line because inside zone is really the only option. So you can do that and give yourself a little bit of an advantage too. And then you can see, like I said, you're really giving up minimal gains at best. But today I'm going to add to that scheme with the overload 3 sky press. On the offensive side, I would like to go random. I guess I will. I guess I'll go random, but I want to pick something. We'll go with the bunch offset. This is basically meta, so we'll go with that. Now, as always, this video is brought to you by my coin sponsor, AOEAH.com. If you guys want to get your team up and support this channel at the same time, all you have to do is use that link in the description, top line, use discount code MONEY to get 3% off what's already the cheapest coins in the market. Now, the setup for this is super easy. All I'm going to do is pinch the entire defense. That's RB, R1, then down on the left stick. That's the first step. The next step is wide triangle. Then I'm going to baseline, show blitz, baseline. Now, the purpose of that, I messed it up because this safety is supposed to come down too. And I might have actually did it one too many times because that other cornerback is supposed to drop back a little bit. There is going to be the look where the safeties and the cornerbacks are both at depths where they shouldn't get burned by any streaks or pass plays, but also will be effective in shorter routes. They're closer to the line, so they'll be a little bit more aggressive, and they'll, like I said, this to me is one of the better depths. Be baseline, show blitz, and baseline. The last step, the second last step is going to be to cast pass, but then the last step is going to be to blitz your user, which is this 3 right here, and bring him right down into this gap. That's all you really have to do. This should do a number of things. The number one run play you're going to see in gun formation is going to be the inside zone. This should stuff that because you can see all the inside zone lanes are going to be stuffed. If you try to take it outside, this cornerback here will take care of that. So that'll do a good job against run defense. Then you're also going to see the type of pressure that this gets. Whether it's a 4-man, whether it's a blocking running back or not, we're still going to get pressure here. It's just going to come from different areas. So let's go. Like I said, I'm going to stay down in this box just for a second, back out. You can see on the very first play, Jalen Hurts immediately recognizes that there's an unblocked blitzer coming in. We'll go to the replay here. The point of this is to bring all these linemen in as tight as possible. It doesn't matter whether the running back's blocking or not. I think on this play, you went out in a pattern. You're going to see the pressure is typically going to come from this guy if that happens. You can see right here, this tackle here, he gets in a position where he already knows, like, what am I doing here? Am I blocking this defensive end? Am I blocking this cornerback? It looks like for a second he's going to turn to the cornerback. If he would have did that, this guy would have got off free. That's why I'm saying this pressure comes from multiple areas. The defensive end in front of him, or it's an outside linebacker, I'm not really sure. But he would have got off free. So that's one of the things you're going to see a lot in this particular series of plays. But you can see we're going to get that free cornerback pretty much every time. Just put your fastest cornerback, I forgot to mention that, put your fastest cornerback at the spot because it's going to make a big difference. Even your biggest hitter, your biggest playmaker, all that stuff's going to be helpful having him at this cornerback spot. So we're going to do that a few more times, but hopefully, we'll just get all the looks that we want. We want to get some run looks. We want to get some looks where the running back's blocking. But really easy setup. I'll do this one time. Hopefully, we'll get that blocking running back. And then we did. I don't know what that was, but that was. I think both guys got in. I don't know if that was a screenplay or something. That was weird. So here we get that second look. I was just talking about how sometimes you're going to see the quarterback get in. Other times you're going to see this look where this defensive end gets in or this outside linebacker. I'm not really sure once again. But Lane Johnson looks like he tries to pass him off to the running back, and then he goes out on the cornerback, which you can see right here. He does get that cornerback. Or no, he doesn't get the cornerback. The cornerback runs right past him anyway. So both of these guys come right past. I don't know if that's why the running back, maybe he went to a check and release. He didn't block anybody. And you can see we just have a screaming A gap and a really good outside quarterback pressure all in the same play. But I really have to user this gap and then drop back and be the middle of the field right here. I gotta basically stay here long enough that this guard pulls and then just walk away and try to take away anything over the middle. As you can see, we get a drag, which is why Jalen, I guess, felt more comfortable just throwing it into a crowd. There are some adjustments you can make for better coverage. Number one, against a bunch set like this, you probably want to move this deep zone over to the point where he's over top of the bunch coverage. Basically, that'll keep them from getting any one-play touchdowns, because there are a lot of one-play touchdowns you can create from bunch coverages. But if you move the safety over, it should be no issue. If you want a hard flat, just adds to the adjustments. Like, you'll take away those short throws, which are going to be important because obviously the pressure's coming so quick. So you might see more short throws than anything. So we're going to do that one more time. Now we're just going to go against random plays in general. The entire format, the entire book. We're just going to go random gun. I mean, this is a hard defense to run from the gun. As you can see, there's just no, this is you're running right in. You're typically running right into issue, whether it's the cornerback or the stuffed defensive box. As you can see right there, we was trying to shoot the count, but I wasn't paying attention. But it didn't matter because he comes through and cleans up my mess. Because this play is just good like that. You always want to run it the opposite side of the running back, though. That's the thing. You always want to make sure that the blitzing cornerback, and I don't even know who that guy is, but you want to make sure he's coming in from the side opposite the running back, because that will help with the run plays and it'll help with the pass plays. Even if he's blocking, a lot of times the cornerback will get around anyway. Now, this is a unique play here. I can basically just take this guy. I don't have to really do anything. I can just take this guy in here because you can see the zone assignments are a little bit different. So this is actually going to be better for me if I have a fast linebacker, which I'm not really sure I do. But this is pretty much the exact same look. Like I said, just pitches defense. That's the most important part. If you don't mess with all the coverage adjustments in the back, that's not the end of the world. But pitching the defense is the more important part. As you see, the cornerback comes right around. I didn't do a very good job covering the middle, though. I did chase the running back, and I gave that up. Cover threes are improved, even though I made a video saying that they're not much improved. They are improved. The cover three defenses are definitely better post-patch. They're just, it's like anything else. You can see right there, like I said, we finally get that look where I get that guy off the other side. For some reason, you can get sacks. It looks like this, where you get a play action. And if you get a play action, a lot of times I'm on the wrong guy. A lot of times when you get a play action, for whatever reason, they're expecting the running back to come right off of that block and get this guy. But if you guess pass, a lot of times he just comes running straight in and gets an instant sack. So I had to back out and choose a look with that play action just to show you guys what happens. But we're going to go over and run it like this one time. Then we're going to end this video. Like I said, if that guy makes a mistake to play action, you get that look every single time. Every single time that quarterback does a play action, you can get a sack right off the edge. It's a really glitzy blitz. We've shown pressure from three different areas. We've shown it from the cornerback, the linebacker, and now we're going to show it again from this defensive end. So like I said, on our play, they just basically block inside. The cornerback came in free too on that play. So there's definitely a certain offense you do not want to run against this. As you can see on this play, the cornerback comes in free. I mean, everybody came in free. Like we have, I got suctioned in a little bit, but for the most part, this is what we blocked together. We have a 6-on-5 and two guys coming free. So only three guys are getting blocked, including myself. I should have pulled off, but you can see how easy the blitz this is. So we're going to switch formations because we weren't really getting the run plays that we wanted. We're going to go with a popular inside zone out of the gun strips TU offset because we want to get some run plays to show how this stuff run plays anyway. So let's go and pick that. So this is one of the reasons that you definitely want your safeties closer to the line because they're going to be important when it comes to run defense. The only thing I'm not going to do here, the set's the exact same. The only thing I'm not going to do is guess pass, obviously. So here you can see we have not too much lanes in the center. There we got washed a little bit. We could fix that just by simply changing the lane in which I'm rushing. I don't have to rush that lane for the blitz to get in. It's just the one that I prefer. And they can see it basically just changes. I don't get washed out of play because the previous play, I'm getting washed out of play because I'm still kind of treating this like I'm going to drop back into coverage. Where here, if I start off over here, they'll just basically let me in to shoot the gap, as you can see right there. I just came in a little bit late. So we'll actually shoot the gap once or twice, just to show you guys that there is a lane in which you can shoot the gap. You just have to basically start right over here. So this is not ideal because you're coming across the formation, but you have the other blitzers coming in. You can see right there. I mean, it's just, you have to take it wide. So a very good run defense against inside zones. You just have to change it up just a little bit and just bring this guy out over here, which seems counterintuitive considering that you want to be in that lane, but you can see it just basically, you know, there's no real holes to run here. The formation, like I said, I'm using the Dolphins playbook. I like the Dolphins playbook. It's probably my favorite playbook right now. It's got a lot of really good formations like the big nickel over G. It's got the 3-3-5 wide, the double A gap, the 3-5 odd, which I already put out a scheme, or maybe I will be. I'm not sure what order these videos are coming out, but I already recorded a scheme out of the 3-5 odd. This is my favorite defensive playbook. This is going to be the ebook that I put out this year. I don't know if I'm going to be touching on a lot of other ones. I might do the Giants as well. Let me know in the comment section what ebook you guys want to see as far as defense goes, or what your favorite defense is. But as far as this video goes, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start off with the nickel 3-5. Now, one of the best things you can do this year that I'm not even sure if you could do it last year was you could add a safety at the middle linebacker spot. I think you could, but I'm just not 100% sure. So just make sure you put a safety at your user. I don't know if there's still a lot of defenses where you can shift over from the 3-5 to 3-5 wide like people were doing last year, but that's one of the best things you can do. I would also make sure for some of the plays it's going to matter who this outside linebacker is. So try to have some speed out there. That's probably the most important thing. Jalen Phillips, I'm not sure how fast he is, but I know he's their first round pick. So I'll go ahead and put him there. So let's go ahead and let's pick the first play. There's a couple plays. One of the metas that everybody seems to be running is the Mike Blitz 3. I personally think that's a pretty good defense. I know you can get pressure with it. I always liked the 3 Sambo Blitz. This was one that I put out probably Madden 16 or 17. It was one of my most popular videos. There's a lot of really good plays here. I'll definitely have a lot of extra ones on my Patreon and on my Join Now community tab. So check that out. Link in the description below, or hit the like button. I'll try to put these out later at a later date. So we're going with center audibles. Like I said, there's so many good plays here. We're going to go with the cover 2 man. I'm going to show you guys a good way to run that. The Mike Blitz 0 is already there. The next play, I'm going to put the Sam 3 Will Blitz in there because I like that play. And then the last one we're going to put in would be the Mike Blitz 3. Let's go and let's start off with the meta that everybody seems to be running anyway, and that's the Mike Blitz 3. So when it comes to getting pressure, one of the first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, basically send all your defensive linemen. You're going to want to blitz Wilkins here. He doesn't really do much dropping into coverage. He's too slow. I typically like to spread my defensive line, and then I like to bring this guy down into one of these gaps. This is going to be my user. I also want to make sure that I guess pass, because that will just make sure that if it is a play action, that these outside linebackers will not react. And then I'm going to basically hover this gap before I release. You can do either gap, but considering the shotgun formation, if it's going to be a run play, it's going to be an inside zone. So I'd rather plug this hole, because that's the most likely area where the running back would run. So we're going to start here. As the play starts off, though, we're basically just going to, as you can see right there, we're getting inside zone. So like I said, there's definitely a good reason to be in that gap. So we're going to do it again. Like I said, you can come down this gap. You don't have to spread the defensive line. I just find that that's one of the better ways to go. But you can see it definitely matters. The pressure comes in anyway. And that's pretty much one of the best ways to get pressure. Like I said, I have a nice, speedy linebacker out there, Jerome Baker. Got to make sure you have your speed at these spots. And once again, the running back's not blocking. There's not going to be anything in his way as he goes right to, I'm on the running back. If you watch the replay, like I engage very shortly, and I back away. Actually, I never got engaged because, like I said, I typically try to loop to the right so that I can basically not get touched, and then I'm all over that running back. And by the time I get into that set, he's already getting planted. So it's a super easy blitz to set up. If you're worried about that flat, you can always use hard flat. That's one thing that this game covers pretty well is hard flats. Like I said, really just basically slanting the defensive line outside, crashing outside, blitzing this, or bringing this blitzer down into the gap. Once again, inside zones are going to get shut down. As you can see right there, there's nowhere to go. Go and let's do this one more time. Like I said, I'd like to get more pass plays. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna hard flat just because I'm sure that white in the flat will be, that would be something that will be there. You can see we're just getting very easy sacks. So very easy pressure system to get. Like I said, you could also do this out of the Mike 0 blitz. This is something that I used to run every game, every play. It was so difficult for people to stop. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the exact same setup. All I really have to do is bring this guy down here. This is a scenario, a lot of times, I like to bring this guy down. A lot of times I just like to let him blitz. To be honest with you, like you can just let him blitz and then bring this guy down and cover the running back yourself. Or sometimes, like I said, because if the running back does block, him blitzing definitely plays a key role. But in a scenario like this, a lot of times I'll just basically cheat over to one of these gaps where, like I said, right here we got 3 receivers. So if there's anything crossing, I'll basically just come down here and then drop into these crossers. And you can see right there, I've almost got a pick. So like I said, you're going to get a lot of pressure. You're going to get a lot of success. The man coverage one is something I would say it's just best to mix it every once in a while, but it's kind of easy to call man coverage out. So this is pretty simple. Like, this is a man coverage. So guessing pass, that's all we have to do in this play. Just bring him down and guess pass, and then boom, shut down the run once again, getting the same pressure. They're basically the exact same play. Now the next play I'm going to show is the 3 Sam Will blitz. You can do essentially the same stuff with this that you can do with the Mike Blitz 0, but I find there's some additional benefits to the 3 Sam Will blitz that make it slightly better for coverage purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that. Then on the offensive side, we're going to do the exact same thing, random-o. Basically, the real benefit to this play compared to the other play is, number one, you have a 3-rec hook, which is the middle linebackers in a 3-rec. So he's going to follow any crossing receivers. It's a much better version of a yellow zone than the regular hook zones. Regular hook zones don't really follow as well. But essentially, all you have to do with this play now is zone all linebackers, which is super quick and easy. And now you have one linebacker who's going to cover. He's going to cover crossers a lot better, and you have hook throws flooding the middle, which to me is a really good way to go. It's also not a bad idea to just double Mabel on both sides, which is a trick that a lot of people know about. We basically just hard flat these outside defenders. If I do this, I mean, this is my best opportunity. I want to center this guy, by the way, but this is my best opportunity. If I'm not good in coverage and I want to use a defensive lineman, I can do that. And that's something where I feel like my coverage is just going to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I typically, if I run a defense like this, if I'm going full coverage, a lot of times I'll basically take a defensive end and drop back with them if they're passing a lot, so I can get on some crossers as well. But you can see nothing's open. I mean, this is basically just Clam City, as Cam Newton still almost got sacked on a 2-man rush, and he's got to take off. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put one of these guys into a vert hook, and we'll leave one guy in a 3-rec just to show you the difference in what they do. So I'm going to go ahead and be over here. I'm going to be Baker. I'm just going to basically cover. This is a crossing play, which typically the vert hooks will do a little bit of a better job following. As you can see, he does right there, and then Cam's going to complete it. But let's go to the replay to see what the difference was. See, me personally, I think it's good to do the full coverage version where you have both. But let's see what the 2 guys did. So the vert hook, number one, this guy here, he gets beat off the line a little bit, but he follows back a lot further, which is good when it comes to cover 3s because he's covering the cover 3 seam. He's going all the way down the field. Where this guy here, the 3-rec, he's probably much better for drags. So you can see on a deep crosser, he gets to the middle, he gets to a spot, he follows it to a certain extent, but then he stops. If it was a shallower route, he would follow it a lot more. So that's something to keep in mind. But for cover 3s, it's best to have this guy because ultimately he's just going to follow the play a lot longer and take away any cover 3 seam beaters, which is probably one of the biggest issues when it comes to cover 3. Now we have something where we should see a little bit more from this 3-rec hook. So we're going to have him in the middle because typically he's going to run to the middle and we don't want him to be out of position. And now you can see he follows that drag the whole way across, which is something that typical vert hooks won't do. So you really have the best of both worlds if you run this play like I'm saying. If you put both of these guys into vert hooks, you really have, you have your seams covered because the vert hooks will follow the seam beaters. And then as long as you align this guy, you'll have any drags or any short routes covered, which is going to be the majority of plays you see. You also have the option, since there's only one receiver over here, to do something like a hard flat or a double Mabel on this side is going to be unreal because now he's going to take away the running back. The crosser will be taken away by the tight end, and the vert hook will take away everything else. So you really have a great combination of zones to take away any type of defense or any type of offensive play. The next play is the cover 2 man. Now this play here, typically I would want to set my coaching adjustments, which you can't really do in practice, to, this is another meta move that people have been doing for a long time. You're going to want to set your zones, your curl flats, or your flats to 20 to 25 yards. Like I said, I can't do that here, but if in a game I would do that. So basically, we're going to pick the cover 2 man. We'll keep going with, we'll go ahead with the PA crosser. Well, no, we'll just keep going random, triple C flex. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to hit Y triangle twice. hit LB, and then we're going to hit the left stick to the right. Same thing with the other side. See, now he's going to curl flat. Then we're going to do the same thing. Double Y, double triangle, A, and then left stick to the right again. And now we have basically, this is something people have been doing for a very long time. Like I said, this formation, you can run all the metas from this formation. This is something that people have been doing for a very long time, where they basically just take away crossers, and this will also take away outside routes and stuff like that. Basically, leaving me with this guy here. This will be my user now. I wish it was Jerome Baker. I could flip that and make Jerome Baker my guy, because I'd rather him because of the speed. But ultimately, this is going to be the look. Now, I'm not even sure if this is messed up entirely, because the diagram is messed up now. It doesn't look like that slot receiver is going to get covered. But let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, he got covered. So like I said, he had the advantage too against the slower linebacker. But you can see, not a lot of things are going to be open. And it can be a really easy setup once you get used to it. It takes 2 seconds. Like I said, guess and pass is another thing that I would do. Sometimes I'll use this guy just to give myself a little bit more pressure, but in a formation like this, he can easily jump flats to that running back, which is, table route is very, very popular here. So you can see he's already on that. And like I said, I'm just using it all across the board here. I can take away all these crossers. There's nothing really open here. Now we've had a double team on that receiver, and Cam dumps it down. So there's multiple meta options here when it comes to this formation that you can run all game. And there's more things you can do too. I'm not even done here. This is just the first thing. This is probably one of the more popular things. You can see right there. But you can take that, you can get a couple yards. You're not going to get much more than that. That's the point. There's not a lot of things that are going to beat this particular defense unless you have a straight up speed disadvantage